Hello, this is Cecil Robles. I just wanted to share briefly with you a recent trade that was taken by our Sniper FX strategy, and I wanted to just show you how easy and profitable it is to trade with this particular strategy and with this system. Basically what we have here is the Australian dollar US dollar daily chart, and you can see here we have a few indicators on the chart. This is what I call my sniper channels, the green here and the red. We also have a moving average line in here, a 5-bar moving average line, simple moving average line. We also have a 100-day exponential moving average line in here. And then you'll see that we have candlesticks on the charts. And this is the daily chart, so each one of these candles here is equivalent to 1 day in the market. 1 day would be from basically 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time the following day. These candles particularly roll over at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the end of 1 day, rolling over into the next at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically we have a few trades on this chart, all in the same direction. This is what we call a counter trend trade. It's actually with the overall trend. If you look, we flip over to the weekly chart and pull it back some, you can see the overall trend. The overall trend is definitely up in this particular currency pair. We had a little bit of a pullback, and now price is moving back up. And so looking at the daily chart, we can see the same thing. We've had some pullbacks here, and then prices continued to move higher, and it's really kind of hit like almost like a double top here, and now it's moving back up to that area. We had a slight pullback in here, so we're now in what we call a counter trend trading environment, and the Sniper FX strategy works in both counter trend and trending environments. It's designed for that, to catch the majority of the moves in a trend, or the majority of a position in a trend, the meat in a trend, but also to keep you where you're not giving your money back in a counter trend situation. And now we basically come to a halt in this trend, and we're now moving into a counter trend. You can see the sniper channels are kind of going flat, parallel with each other, whereas before they were rising. And this is a counter trend environment. You can see the same thing back here. We're in a counter trend environment, and then we have a breakout, and then now we move back into a counter trend environment. Okay, so looking at this chart, blow it up here, we basically have a few entry points, and I'm going to mark those out on the chart here just to give you a rough idea of the entry points. Our first entry point is going to be somewhere around right here, and that's going to give us an entry to go long. Our initial stop is going to be placed back here. So basically we're looking at a stop here. We have an entry of about a 98.93, and we have a stop back here of about 89.42. So we have 98.93. We have about, 90.93 and 89.42. That's about 151 pip risk. So we have a total of 151 pips here, 151 on this initial position. And we have an entry point. It's going to be somewhere right around here. And that's going to give us our initial entry. Our stop's going to go back here, and that's our stop. And you can see that price trades up, and then it comes back down. And that doesn't mean that we're out of the trade. We haven't taken any profits. We're still actually in this trade. At this point, however, our stop is going to get moved up a little bit closer. So our stop gets moved up to right about here in this particular trade, and we continue to go forward. And you'll notice that price climbs back up. And we're going to have another entry position about right here. And you'll notice what happens. Price continues, and then it pulls back again. And this actually gives us an opportunity to protect some of our profits on the first trade and continue with this particular trade. Now, right around this area, we're actually going to get a signal to take half of our profits. We leave our stop at the same level, and we're going to see what continues, or what continues to happen in this particular trade. So basically, taking a $10,000 account with our initial entry being at about 90.93, we have 90.93 as our initial entry point, and our second entry point is going to be about 92.62. Okay, so that gives us 2 entry points. Our initial position risk was 1%, and then in our second position we actually risk a little bit more. We risk 2.5%, so we increase the margin. And our take profit was at around the 93.40 area. That was our take profit on our first half of the position. So at 93.40, that's our first half of the position we take profit. So basically we had from 90.93 to 93.40, we have about 247 pips. And then from 92.62 to 93.40, we have another 78 pips. So total in this trade, we have 325 pips of profit. And we're still actually in this particular trade. Right now we have 325 pips of profit, and we protected quite a bit on our first trade, and we would actually be close to break even on our second trade if it indeed does come back and hit our stop. Now we may indeed get another exit signal on this prior to that taking place, but right now we protected most of our profits in this particular trade. We've banked 325 pips on half of our positions, and that's not a bad run. And this is on one chart, one time frame on the daily chart. Now it basically took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 days. Took 17 days before we actually hit that area. 17 days here before we actually took profits on this particular trade. This is the daily chart. That means at 5 o'clock every day you can check the charts. That means you don't have to be up all night trading, the 1 hour chart or the 15-minute charts. If you do that, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you can do that. But a lot of people have full-time jobs. They're not able to do that. This gives you the liberty to manage your positions and do it one time a day. You have a scheduled time. It maybe takes 20 or 30 minutes to scan the charts, to make your trading decisions, to enter your positions, and then you've got the rest of the evening with your family to do what you like to do. And there's this kind of trade potential. And so we'll be showing more of these videos. Some on the 4-hour chart, some for the day traders on the hour chart and the 15-minute chart. And I believe you'll like these, and you'll see the profitability in this system and the power in this system. And so if you do have any questions in the meantime, you can always email us at cecil@fundamentaltraders.com. And that's kind of a long name to write here with this particular software. You can also visit us at www.sniperfx.com and get the full story behind our trading system.